6 people were hurt and 1 person died after a crash in Aurora last night. And today, police are saying the driver that caused that crash was clocked going nearly 100 miles per hour. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Tom Green. Aurora police say the driver of a Tesla sped away from a traffic stop, then ran a red light, hitting several cars. And 9 News Investigates has obtained video of the crash, and Jeremy Hola is at Buckley in Alameda with the video and more on what happened.
Yeah, hi there, Tom. The damage at this intersection is still very much quite apparent. This was a high-speed crash, and now 1 man is dead, but thankfully, though, a family of 6, including children, are expected to be okay. This is the view of a City of Aurora camera at the intersection of Buckley and Alameda. The impact is quick. After hitting that first car, police say the driver of the Tesla spun out and then hit 2 more cars on the other side of the intersection. One of them happened to be an Aurora police officer. Those drivers will be okay.
Honestly, it was pretty harrowing.
Allison Milano recorded this footage of the aftermath. She and her mother live close by.
Just this loud, deep cannon type boom was all I really heard. Just really deep, really loud. I did end up seeing the Tesla catching on fire.
Milano's footage captured the Tesla smoldering. Police and firefighters allowed it to burn off for safety reasons.
It was a very, like I said, harrowing situation. There were lots of cops, lots of fire trucks, and it was just all in all very chaotic in the moment.
A family of 6 was in that first car, 2 adults and 4 children. Remarkably, they survived with minor injuries. The driver of the Tesla was killed. Police say he was a 26-year-old man who was clocked driving 97 miles per hour during police speed enforcement. An officer decided to back off pursuing the driver after he started to accelerate, according to police. Soon after that, the driver ran a red light at the intersection.
It could have been me in one of those cars that got hit, and it's honestly very hard to just process that someone has the ability to do that to you.
The crash caused extensive damage to lights at the intersection. We saw crews working this morning to fix everything back up. A burn mark where the Tesla ended up remains on the road. And so far, the identity of this 26-year-old man who was killed here has not been released yet. This is still very much under investigation. Live in Aurora, Jeremy Hola, 9 News.
And so, Jeremy, you mentioned that the officer pursuing this driver decided to back off. Is that because of that recent change in APD's policy?
Yeah, they actually updated their pursuit policy earlier this month. They added more criteria where an officer can actually pursue someone. Speeding is not one of those criteria, so it appears here, according to APD too, that the officer did follow proper pursuit policy here.
Okay. Such a serious and sad crash, deadly. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. Douglas County commissioners want to be exempt from all state laws. They want to ask voters to become a home rule county. That would give them more say over things like zoning, government structure, and other local fees. County commissioners say this move is necessary because of overreach from Democrats at the state capitol.
Home rule means putting our community first. It means rejecting the idea that one-size-fits-all policies from politicians in Denver and the state should dictate how we live our lives.
Voters will have a preliminary election on this in June, and if that passes, they'll vote again in November.
It was a sensational day in the metro area and a beautiful day for spring skiing as well. This is what it looked like earlier this afternoon at Wolf Creek Ski Resort.
But time is a-ticking if you want to get up there and enjoy it. A few ski resorts, including Wolf Creek and Telluride, are projecting their closing day to be Sunday, April 6th, which is going to be here really soon.
Yeah, Kathy, let's talk about it because this warm weather certainly does signal people as far as spring. It's going to be around for a couple days.
Absolutely. And some resorts will stay open until May. And with the current weather pattern, I think it's possible we'll see enough mountain snow for at least a couple of resorts to extend out their seasons. But hard to believe we're talking about opening day of baseball and ski resorts closing for the season. But then again, if you step outside, and yesterday we were sunny and 70s. Today we're sunshine, upper 60s, low 70s. Without the wind that we saw yesterday, it really does look and feel like spring. The grass is starting to poke up just a little bit. We're 68 in Denver, 75 in Pueblo, and 69 currently in Greeley. Not the wind, though, today. That wind was ferocious, gusts to 70 and 80 miles per hour. Today, much lighter. We had a weak, dry front roll through, and that brought temperatures down a few degrees, but we're still trending at least 10 degrees above the average of 59. High pressure is our dominant feature, and so that high-thin cloud veil is being pushed eastward by this blocking ridge, which will be the dominant feature over the next couple of days. That will allow for abundant sunshine and the potential for record high temperatures over the next 2 days. Close to 70 downtown this hour, and with the setting sun, temperatures come down about 10 degrees. Weather headlines you can imagine with the potential for record highs. We'll be talking about elevated fire danger, but I have rain and snow in Denver's forecast before the month of April begins. Lots to talk about in weather. That's just ahead.
All right, let's update that portrait of President Donald Trump in the Colorado State Capitol. It has been removed now. It was removed after the president called it, quote, purposefully distorted. House Democrats agreed to remove it at the request of Republican leadership. If Colorado Republicans want a new portrait, that'll have to be done through private donations. Funding for portraits doesn't come out of the budget. Today we learned that Pope Francis's medical team considered stopping treatment and allowing him to die. Pope Francis was released this past Sunday after 38 days of treatment for double pneumonia. However, his doctors now say that they did briefly consider suspending treatment after he suffered a breathing crisis on the last day of February. Doctors were worried that further treatment would damage his organs and put him in more pain. Instead, they pushed forward with the treatment. He is now resting in his Vatican City home. Still unclear if he'll participate in any of the Holy Week activities leading up to Easter next month.
The cost of planning a wedding could be going up thanks to tariffs.
I don't think people realize how much this is going to impact them until they come in and they see the change of prices.
Earlier this month, the Trump administration implemented a 20% tariff on imports from China. Experts say that's where more than 50% of bridal dresses come from. Now rising costs are starting to be passed on to customers. One tip for future brides: if you see something you love, don't wait, order it right now. Be prepared.